Welcome to this explainer on Claude's computer use tool. We're jumping right into a fast-paced overview of what is, frankly, one of the most advanced capabilities in AI today. We're looking at exactly how Claude is shifting from just being a chatbot into a true general-purpose operator. Let's dive in. So think about this. What happens when APIs vanish, or a user interface changes overnight, or critical data is locked inside some 30-year-old desktop app with absolutely no export function? Well, traditional software automation instantly shatters. The moment you lose that structured access, your standard scripts become completely useless. It's a massive headache, right? The solution to this automation nightmare? It's called computer use. It's a beta capability where Claude bypasses APIs entirely. Instead, it interacts with interfaces exactly the way you or I do. It autonomously watches a screen, moves a mouse, and types on a keyboard, relying purely on the graphical interface. It's literally using the computer just like a person. Now, to put into perspective just how big of a generational leap we're dealing with here, take a look at the OS World Benchmark. This tests real-world computer tasks. The previous model scored 42.2%, but just 4 months later, Claude Sonnet 4.5 hit 61.4%. That is a near 50% jump in autonomous computer competence in a single generation. It's an absolutely massive leap in just a few months. So let's look at the mechanics, specifically the agent loop. This operates in a continuous 4-step cycle under the hood. First, it sees. A screenshot of your desktop is sent to the API. Second, it decides, using vision and reasoning to figure out its next move. Third, it acts, returning a command like clicking specific coordinates. And fourth, it verifies by taking a new screenshot to check the outcome. And it just loops this process over and over until the task is done. But because this loops completely autonomously, we absolutely have to talk about security. First, you must set an iteration limit so it doesn't just run endlessly. And more importantly, you strictly need to run this in an isolated sandboxed environment, like a Docker container with a virtual display. Web pages can actually embed hidden text designed to hijack AI instructions, so you've got to ensure Claude's actions can't accidentally or maliciously reach your production systems or sensitive data. Okay, let's look at one highly practical example, the QA smoke test. Imagine you're a QA engineer. You need to test an internal web app's login flow every time a new build ships, but you have zero test frameworks set up. No Selenium, no backend hooks, nothing. You can simply send Claude this plain English instruction. Visit the login URL, log in with these credentials, verify the dashboard loads, and report success or failure. That's the whole shebang. So, what does Claude actually do with that? Well, without relying on any hidden HTML selectors, it takes a screenshot to visually locate the browser. It navigates to the URL. It takes another screenshot, locates the username field strictly by seeing its position on the screen, clicks it, and types. It does the exact same for the password. It visually spots the login button and clicks it. And then it grabs one last screenshot to read the resulting page. The result is that the engineer gets a fast, highly reliable pass or fail outcome. Claude reports back exactly what it did, for instance, confirming it redirected to the dashboard and spotted the welcome message. Plus, this clear description of what Claude actually saw doubles as an immediate visual audit trail. It is incredibly efficient. Moving on to the rules of engagement, exactly when you should actually use this tool. Basically, use computer use when everything else fails. Deploy it for legacy apps with no APIs or complex workflows that jump across multiple unrelated applications, like, say, copying a number from a browser and pasting it into a local spreadsheet. But, and this is crucial, absolutely avoid it if a REST API already exists. APIs are always going to be faster, cheaper, and more reliable. And if you're doing pure web automation on stable sites, stick to tools like Playwright. Computer use is your ultimate fallback for when structured access just isn't an option. So, here is our key takeaway. Computer use transforms Claude into a general-purpose operator for any software with a graphical user interface. Instead of spending weeks building custom integrations, you're literally giving Claude eyes and hands. If a workflow is trapped behind a GUI with no API, Claude can now just look at it, figure it out, and automate it for you. If you want to try this out today, there are 2 access methods. Developers can get into it via the Anthropic API using the Computer Use Beta header. Or if you're an individual just wanting some task assistance, you can use the Cowork feature right in the Claude desktop app, provided you have a Pro or Max subscription. We are truly just scratching the surface of what's possible when an AI can actually drive a computer like a human. For the full guide, complete with detailed examples and security deep dives, make sure to visit claudemaster.net. Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer, but before we go, think about this. If an AI can now master any interface design for a human, what does that mean for the future of software design itself? Will we even need user interfaces a decade from now?